Alright, let's cut straight to it. Benny Blanco might just be the most important name in pop music that nobody respects. You might not recognize his face, but you definitely know his work. This dude has been the mastermind behind way too many hits, and here's the proof.
Shine bright like a diamond.
My mama don't like you and she likes everyone. Step up in this bitch like I'm the one your bitch like.
You make me feel like I'm living it.
I'm on my way, driving as we go on. We remember.
Tell me about the tongue and I know you. I'm so sick of that same old love. Feels like I'm floating.
And that's barely scratching the surface. Benny Blanco has touched more chart-topping records than most pop stars ever will. He's the definition of a hit machine. But Blanco isn't only living behind the boards anymore. He somehow finessed his way into dating and is now engaged to Selena Gomez. The same Selena who grew up as a Disney star, transitioned into a pop icon, and has had the whole world watching her every move for over a decade. Now they've dropped an entire album together titled I Said I Love You First. So, here's the question. Is this the greatest music industry love story of all time, or just some sappy garbage? Is Benny Blanco an underrated genius finally getting his due, or is he just the luckiest man in Hollywood? Let's break it all down.
Music is like magic, okay? The way music works is magic. Anyone who says anything else is an idiot.
Benny Blanco has been quietly running the music industry for nearly 2 decades. If there's a song you can't get out of your head, chances are he had something to do with it. He started in the early 2000s under Dr. Luke and Max Martin, 2 of the most dominant hitmakers of the era. Working under them was like going through the Harvard of pop production, a fast track to understanding what makes a record explode, and he studied hard.
And I think you just jump in and just try something. Just try, and who cares? If you're gonna fail, who cares if you fail?
By the time he went solo, it felt like he was behind every major hit on the radio.
Let's just say a few CVs here. Rihanna, SZA, Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, Katy Perry. You know.
It became a running joke that Benny Blanco had written every song ever, and honestly, it wasn't far from the truth, and his reach went beyond pop. Blanco worked with some of hip-hop's biggest names. He produced for Kanye West on Waves. He helped Tory Lanez come up when he signed him to his label Mad Love Records, and helped produce a few of his songs on his debut album I Told You. But Benny was probably most impressed by working with Juice WRLD.
No.
The best, honestly, the favorite. There's nobody who is ever back. Did you ever meet him?
No, bro.
Right. This guy comes in the room, okay? He comes in, you press play on the beat. Instantly, he goes, all right, let me in. Does a full song. It's the best song you've ever heard. Then he says, do it again on the same beat. Then does another song, and it's the best song you've ever heard. And then he said, pick which one you like better.
Blanco and Juice WRLD ended up collaborating on tracks like Roses and Graduation, and releasing the posthumous tracks Real-ish and Lace It after Juice's tragic death from a drug overdose in 2019. Despite working with all these icons, he wasn't a celebrity, just a name in the credits. That was fine until one day he decided to step in front of the camera. And when he did, it wasn't in the way most successful producers do. He didn't suddenly become a Calvin Harris type, dropping DJ sets in Vegas. Instead, he leaned into being an absolute goofball. His first big move was releasing music under his own name in 2018. His debut single, East Side with Halsey and Khaled, was a massive hit, but Blanco barely appeared in the music video. He didn't position himself as a frontman. Instead, he made it clear from the start that he wasn't a traditional artist. He was a producer who just happened to be in the mix. But then, his personality started becoming part of the brand. Instead of taking the usual mysterious hitmaker route, he went full internet troll mode. His social media became a mix of food videos, absurd comedy, and chaotic energy. And I mean, he has some awesome food videos like this one where he makes fried pickles.
Guys, it's Valentine's Day, and these are my girlfriend's favorite pickles. The only problem is you can only get them shipped from f***ing Texas. But we got them, so now we're gonna fry them. Make your batter. I put Sprite in mine. If you don't like it, yourself. Pickles in. All right, so you take them out of here and you put them in a little bit of panko. Say goodnight. Drop them in the deep fryer. Oh my God.
Me.
All right, guys, take one, dip it, Vanish, eat it, get laid. Happy Valentine's Day.
He eventually put out his own cookbook.
I love this book so much.
In 2020, he appeared in his friend Lil Dicky's show, Dave, on FX. He played an exaggerated version of himself, Lil Dicky's wildly inappropriate but weirdly lovable industry friend. His character was constantly pushing the limits of personal boundaries, from hanging out naked with Lil Dicky to sharing bizarrely intimate moments that made viewers uncomfortable on purpose. And then, Blanco ended up dating Selena Gomez. And let's just say the internet had questions. They first met years ago. It was actually Gomez's mom who introduced them back in 2008 as Gomez was beginning her music career. At the time, Blanco was already an established producer, and their initial meeting was purely professional. Over the years, their paths crossed multiple times due to collaborations and mutual industry connections. Blanco produced tracks like Same Old Love and Kill 'Em With Kindness for Gomez's 2015 album, Revival. But it wasn't until late 2022 that they started getting close. For 6 months, they kept everything completely under wraps, sneaking around Hollywood like they were in a spy movie. No public outings, no social media hints, nothing. Then in December 2023, boom, they went public. Fans lost it. Some were happy for Selena, but a vocal group wasn't. The biggest complaint? People thought Benny wasn't hot enough for her. His social media was flooded with people calling him ugly and writing things like, "I prefer to be alone for the rest of my life than be associated with a man like this." But Benny's not too worried about all that, tweeting things like this and saying things like this.
I'm actually so ugly and my features are like so grotesque that I like popped out the other side and now I'm just like a hot guy.
But despite the noise, the relationship held strong. And Benny's public image started to shift. He wasn't just that guy who wrote a billion hits anymore. He was suddenly one of the most visible people in pop culture. By early 2024, the two were engaged, sealed with a Taco Bell-fueled proposal. Whether people liked it or not, Benny Blanco had officially leveled up.
She said I love you first.
I did.
And now we have their music collab. Benny and Selena weren't just dating, they were working. I Said I Love You First was made entirely in their home studio, an intimate project from start to finish.
And this is kind of where we first started connecting. This is where we had our first kiss. It's where we made the album.
I think it's special because we have a little studio set up. It's like so humble, nothing for real. And we go in there and then, you know, we get to go back into our cocoon of our bedroom, think about what we did. Like, it's like, oh, we're in here making a thing. And then it's like, oh, I guess I'll go cook some food. Oh, I guess you're in bed. Oh, I guess you're back.
Gomez had struggled with music direction for years, but with Benny, she found clarity. He handled production, she focused on lyrics, and the album started to take shape. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Blanco said that she'd wake up, I'd have a pen out, and I'd write what was on her mind. Then we'd go into the other room and create it, and it became a song. It was such a cathartic and therapeutic experience. The project brought in longtime Selena collaborators Julia Michaels and Justin Tranter, along with Gracie Abrams and Phineas, Billie Eilish's brother. The result is a mix of flirty pop, emotional ballads, and direct shots at past relationships. Sunset Belvedere is a playful, cheeky song that basically tells the story of how Benny and Selena started dating. Younger and Hotter feels like a jab at Gomez's exes, making people wonder if The Weeknd or Justin Bieber was the inspiration. Scared of Loving You, co-produced by Phineas, is easily the most emotional track, deeply vulnerable, almost like Gomez's version of Billie's Happier Than Ever. Fans and critics are divided though. It's received a couple 2-star reviews. One called it sappy, and I guess it's true, right? I mean, they're in love, and it's all right to be sappy and show the world your love. It can come off as a little much too, though.
Benny Blanco, I thought you were a god. Benny Blanco, I was familiar with your game. Benny Blanco, I was unfamiliar that you could flop like this.
Either way, people are talking. Benny and Selena aren't the first celebrity couple to mix romance with music, but history shows it can go really well, or absolutely horribly. Let's start with the gold standard, Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Everything Is Love dropped in 2018, and it was actually pretty dope. They turned real-life scandals like Jay-Z's cheating and Beyoncé's Lemonade era into a narrative that made them even stronger as a brand. The album wasn't their biggest commercial success, but it cemented them as a dynasty. There's also the absolute worst-case scenario, Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. Kanye, in his peak delusional era, tried to turn Kim into a musician, giving her the cringe-inducing track, Jam, Turn It Up. I mean, have a listen. That's enough of that. It was, well, really bad. But Kim didn't seem to have too many regrets.
And he's like, okay, then stop being so hard on yourself about making a lame decision.
So where do Benny and Selena fall? Somewhere in between. They're not Beyonce and Jay-Z, but they're also not forcing something fake. This album actually happened. It's personal. Whether it's good is still up for debate, but at least they're not out here trying to convince us Selena Gomez is dropping a rap verse. So, what do you think? Will you listen to Gomez and Blanco's album, or will it be too sappy? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.